Hello, 5th grade. This is Unit 9's Orange Vocabulary Story of the Week. It is called The Wolf's Side of the Story. Once upon a time, a wolf got himself into some serious trouble. He was now on trial in a small village courtroom, pleading with a judge from the witness stand. "Please, Your Honor, I beg you, do not convict me and enclose me in that dreary dungeon. The only sunlight I would ever see is a feeble shaft that comes through a small window covered with iron bars and jagged wire." "We've been over this before," grumbled the judge. "You know you are accused of a terrible crime." "Falsely accused," howled the wolf. "How many times must I tell you? There was no foul play, and I never harmed Grandma. In fact, I never even saw her. I simply let myself into the cottage, tried on a warm flowered nightgown and a frilly cap, and slipped into the soft, cozy bed. I fell asleep, and the next thing I saw was a girl in a red cape." "The witness known as Little Red Riding Hood," confirmed the judge. "Go on." "She was holding a large basket, and I could smell the sandwiches and cakes inside. Clearly there was plenty of food to share and to nourish us both. But she suddenly became uneasy. Then, for no apparent reason, she screamed and ran out. A few minutes later, the local guards came and dragged me away." "You're wrong. That's not how it happened," shouted a girl seated in the front row. As soon as she stood up, everyone could see her red cape and recognize her as the wolf's chief accuser. "I saw you looking at me with your big eyes, and I saw you sniff the air with your big nose. I saw you open your big mouth. That's when I said, 'Grandma, what big teeth you have.' And that's when you said, 'The better to eat you with, my dear.'" "No, no, you're the one who's wrong," the wolf shouted back. "What I said was, 'The better to eat with you, my dear.'" Then, just as the judge was about to pound his gavel to end the heated exchange and restore discipline in the court, the door in the back of the room flung open. A 60-ish woman in a bright flowered cape stepped forward and commanded, "Stop!" "Grandma!" gasped the girl in red. "Yes, my dear," replied the woman. "I rushed over as soon as I heard." Then, addressing the judge, she continued, "You see, Your Honor, I left a few days ago to visit my sister. I hadn't seen her in years, but now that we've signed a treaty with the neighboring kingdom where she lives, travel is much easier. You can imagine my surprise when I arrived back home and saw a newspaper saying that I had disappeared and the wolf was on trial for devouring me." You see, I told you!" The wolf jumped up and down and shouted. "Indeed I do," replied the judge, after looking around, scratching his chin thoughtfully, and reaching a gradual conclusion. "It seems you have been telling the truth all along, and in view of the facts, I am obliged to release you. There is one provision, however. You shall write an earnest letter of apology for sneaking into the cottage, for the unauthorized use of a nightgown and frilly cap, and for alarming an unsuspecting visitor." With a big sigh of relief, the wolf agreed, and they all lived happily and lawfully ever after.